all what was done was that in Gambia almost 6 months there is rain and in 6 months there is non-rainy season, and the children born between the two periods, there was a huge difference in their immunity levels, in their survival, and the premature deliveries, and so on and so forth. And it was seen that especially the ones who were born in the hungry season, there was a deficiency of a gene which looks after our immunity, and that's why they were dying much earlier. And the DNA methylation pattern was absolutely different for the two seasons. Now it is a big thought which really needs our attention. I would not say that we have not had our attention towards nutrition. We know folic acid supplementation, we know iodine supplementation, we know that thalidomide led to a lot of issues which now we have avoided. So we are really aware of these situations. But we also know a lot of other things, but we have not applied. And those are the ones I would like all of you to understand. Today, when we ask about how are we dying, just a few years back, sepsis and infection used to be the top. Today, it is non-communicable diseases. So almost about 63% of the global deaths are happening because of non-communicable diseases. And even when we say about the maternal mortality, today this is heading. The superimposed non-communicable diseases are on the top of maternal mortality contributors. So we have to understand, and later, just in a few decades from now on, almost about 75% of the deaths are going to be attributable to that. Now, only lifestyle modification, is it enough? We have talked a lot about it, but we haven't really achieved what we really wanted to achieve with that lifestyle modification, and that also is a little difficult. There is something called as genetic predisposition also. And we know that there is now mounting evidence which is present all over the world that there is something called as fetal origin of adult diseases. And our country has been a pioneer because we have known Garh Sanskar for centuries. But the problem with us is that it has to go to the West first. The West has to put a stamp and then we follow. Now, where have we lost our heads? Why can't we have the faith and the trust and the conviction in our own medicine system? And that is very important for us to understand. So we have fetal origin of adult diseases. Now, this has changed a lot of understanding. There is still a lot of debate going on that all is not really fetal origin, but there is something called as environmental health also. Now, we need to put both of them together, and that is what is very important. Because if this song, which I'm sure some of you must have heard from Paul McCartney, which is called as Off the Ground, and what does it say? Though it takes a lot of power to make a big tree grow, it doesn't need a pot of knowledge, for a seed knows what a seed must know. Now, a seed knows what a seed must know. But if I give you all these seeds and give you the same water, the same mud, the same pot, and tell you to please water and put all the nutritional elements in this, will those seeds grow into the same big tree from which the seed has come?
No.
The answer is no. So why the answer is no? Because there is something called as environmental health also, or epigenetics, which also plays a big role. And so much is the power of this epigenetics that it can change your genetics. And that is important. So genetics is the hardware, but epigenetics is the software, and both need to be in tune for us to perform as much and as better as we are. So through epigenetics, that means through environmental factors like diet, like the stress, the prenatal nutrition, the prenatal stress, the postnatal behavior, you can actually have an imprint on the genes. If I today tell you that many gene expressions will happen in utero of all the diseases which we have later on in life. Look at these mice. Which one is the healthiest? 100% of the people, if you don't read something which is below, you'll say the one who's yellow, nice golden coat, and is the one who's the healthiest. And if I tell you the one which is darker coat, smaller, slimmer, is the one who's healthier. Now their DNA methylation pattern of these mice is totally different. And the one which is obese is much more prone to diabetes and malignancies than the other one. And that is what we have to again understand. Now, DNA methylation, we have been talking about it for almost, I think, 2 decades now. I think we've done a number of talks on this. There's a strong link of DNA methylation pattern in human diseases like lupus, cancer, diabetes, muscular dystrophies, hypertension, obesity, cardiovascular diseases, and so on. So this really needs to be understood and taken care of. Along with this, now, is prescription the only thing? Are we really going to write down some prescriptions and say, oh, we've taken care of the DNA methylation? The answer is no. Because the kind of stress a mother goes through when she is pregnant, and along with her the baby goes through in utero, brings about a number of gene expression in the baby. If I tell you today that even the breast cancer, the BRCA gene is expressed in utero, and that also is under certain stressful conditions, you'll understand it better. So the mothers who go through a lot of stress and depression have expression of number of genes which have nothing to do with nutrition only. Even the mental stress is also contributing to those gene expression. Who doesn't know Audrey Hepburn? I'm sure, I think we have all admired her, the ones who are at least of my age. But most of us don't know that Audrey Hepburn was born in 1944 when the famous Dutch hunger winter was there. And when we followed that period, people who were born, now Audrey Hepburn had anemia, she had respiratory illnesses, she had edema, she had clinical depression, which none of us know. We only see that beautiful face and the movies she made. But when we followed all the people who were born during that period, depending upon the timing of exposure of the mother during that period, if it was in the preconception, those mothers have infertility. In first trimester, obesity, heart disease, and so on. Second trimester, again, airway diseases and diabetes. And third trimester, diabetes and insulin resistance. So, exposure to undernutrition during the famine, and look at what the future generations are actually going to suffer from. So the question, or the big question is, can we really avoid it? Can we avoid undernutrition, overnutrition, obesity, hypertension, and hyperglycemia? And these are the 5 most commonly associated problems with a pregnancy. And if we are able to address even these along with mental stress, which a mother goes through, you have taken care of majority of the problems of the future generations. I am not going to go into too much detail, but this diagram is just showing you that how exposure to undernutrition and exposure to overnutrition both will lead to a fuel-mediated teratogenesis and a nutrition-mediated teratogenesis. And that's important. And both will lead to insulin resistance in the babies to come. Meaning now that these babies are already predestined to have diabetes in future. So it is true when a diabetic says that this has been given to me by my parents. Antenatal care is what we focus on. And if I tell you that antenatal care is too late for you to make any difference in that baby's life or in the future generations. And why? Antenatal care is too late because it cannot prevent the critical birth effects. And most of the times, the patients say, "Oh, 3 महीना पूरा हो जाएगा, कब जाएंगे डॉक्टर के पास?" by the time whatever rest you would have done is also gone down the drain. Because we cannot start from the third month onwards. The pyramid of care, which was there, I am going to show you a little later, also now has a penthouse and a basement. And what is that? That penthouse is a preconception care. Because if you want to make a difference in a particular child's life, the mother has to be tackled in the prenatal period or the preconception period. Because the heart actually begins to beat by the time you see your pregnancy, and in the 5th week itself, the fetal pole, you see the cardiac activity. So if the patient is coming much later, what are you going to do? Neural closes by the 28th day. Prevention of any implantation errors is too late when the patient comes in the antenatal period. And again, maintaining any kind of allostasis is not possible if the patient is coming that late. So if you think that we are going to make a difference in the PIH, hyperglycemia, neural defects by antenatal care, I am sure you have all understood we cannot. So the time which has to be invested today is, if you look at the value and the time invested and the period of conception, pre-conception period investment gives you the maximum value. And then the graph comes down from pre-implantation to first trimester, and later on in pregnancy, in the 3rd trimester, there's nothing much we can do except try and bring the baby out. So periconception medicine is a totally new era which we are really looking at. So we have to start early before the patient gets pregnant, and that's why in one of our very programs we used to say that folic acid is a engagement pill. As soon as the girl gets pregnant, put her on folic acid. So something similar kind of an education needs to be really done. So what are the important periods? If we are really looking at the future healthy generations, it is -8 weeks to -12 weeks to +8 weeks. That means 3 months prior to conception to about 2 months after conception is the period where you can make all the changes you want to bring out a healthy baby in this world. And this conceptual influence really affects a lot. Because what does it affect? I'm going to show you some evidence for this also a little later. It affects the organization of the DNA, the epigenome, the mitochondria, the metabolism, the placentation. Once placentation has happened, you can't improve the trophoblastic invasion. So all that needs to be done in the preconceptional period. Now, I'm just showing you here the oocytes, which are from an obese woman. And if you see here, the one on the top, which you see is an oocyte which is normal. And what happens to it when this woman is fed on high lipid diet or sugars? Look at the mitochondria and the normal oocyte and the one below. Look at the impact of the DNA modification in the 3rd picture. And you see that the DNA also is totally modified. So the maternal environmental influences actually influence the gametes. Now those gametes, once they are influenced, will have an effect on the future generation which will come. It's not only that, look at the fat staining here of the oocyte. When you have a normal diet, look at the red is the mitochondria, and look at the high fat diet, and look at the mitochondria. Now mitochondria are the energy sources of the oocyte. That doesn't mean that only the woman is responsible for whatever happens to the baby. Men's weight also is very important. Now the paternal weight has a great link with decreased pregnancy rates. The paternal obesity is directly related again to poor performance of infertility patients. Also related to increased pregnancy loss. So many times you will have patients who have recurrent pregnancy losses, and we are only investigating the woman. We are not even looking at the huge belly man who's really sitting behind, is diabetic, hypertensive, smoker, and so on. So we really need to look at both of them together, and also I'll go ahead and tell you that maternal obesity and impaired glucose tolerance test has an impact on the baby also. So we have to look at the couple as a whole, and lifestyle modification and changes in the pre-pregnant period for both of them are very, very important. So this is just a schematic diagram of representing, how prenatal factors, the perinatal factors, and the childhood factors can lead to adult diseases. And this is where we need to bring a break, and that will only happen when we understand, we convince ourselves, and then we go ahead and preach what we have understood. This concept is not new, I can tell you. Aldous Huxley wrote this book almost about 6 decades back, when IVF was also not really existent. And what did he write? He said that, we will have special soups or broths in which we will grow fetuses, and we will change the ingredients of those broths to bring a future generation which is more sturdier. Let's say if we are looking at children who will work in the chemical factories, we will bring the broth with lithium and cadmium. If we want, astronauts, we will treat those embryos with anti-gravitational forces so that they can really, take all those forces much better. And now today, talking about all those things, which is important. So we really need to think much more in advance. Right now, just Amit was saying that we are the diabetic capital of the world. We are the obesity capital of the world. We also have the maximum number of PCOs in our country. I will go ahead and tell you that we also have maximum preterm births in our country. 27% of the preterm births of the whole world happen in our country. Now, we really need to think beyond, because getting a patient pregnant is not the ultimate aim. Again, those of us who are practicing infertility, we have to understand that if a PCOS patient has come, for me, the first and the most important thing will be that she comes back nearer to her normal weight, which is important. But we don't do that. Why? Because she will go away. She'll go to a next door doctor. Now, am I a good doctor? Because when she goes to a next door doctor, there is more than 70% chance that if she gets pregnant, she will end up into an abortion, and then she will come back to you, because then she will understand that the advice which you have given. So investing in future should not be a short-term proposition if we understand what our existence is all about. Our existence is to plan the future, which is important, because if you're looking at hypertension in pregnancy, how many of them will have chronic hypertension after the pregnancy is over? If you're looking at gestational diabetes, how many of them will land up into diabetes once the pregnancy is done, and a little later, within 5 years, 4.4 is the relative risk. So you have to understand that prematurity has a direct connection with the cardiovascular diseases, and hypohomocysteine again has a lot of contribution to all the diseases which we are talking about. But how many of us have done the same levels of the patient? No. But what we do to cover that up? We do some things. We give folic acid to the patient. So we probably have to give the right kind of a folic acid to the patient, so that also is taken care of, and that also should start at least 3 months early. So now with this bit of a background, how many of us now think that pregnancy is a good window of opportunity?
Pregnancy, sir?
I would say yes and no, because definitely for this particular pregnancy, it may not be as good a window of opportunity. But it is definitely a good window of opportunity to make the patient understand, to make the family understand, and also to prepare the family for the next baby with all what we have understood today. And it's not only that. Again, when we look at this, how many of us really take a good history? Sometimes patients might come with a blue or a black mark here. Have we sat down and asked her why is it? How many of us do? 2 hands raised, 5 hands raised. Because if we are really looking at
many of us take many of us.
proper, that history,
Many of us take properties.
yes.
No.
That history, most of the times, will overlook a few things. That what is giving stress to this mother? And stress is again a bigger contributor than diet or exercise. So there are 3 important things which we really need to look into. One is the diet, other is the lifestyle, and the third thing is the stress. Because we contribute and then make a preparation for the generation which is going to come out. But in any kind of a consultation, what is the normal time for your consultation? Which you give to the patient? Tell me. Tell me.
Pregnancy.
10 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes.
10, 15. You know, the WHO says that the first consultation for 40 minutes. Okay? But we did a survey. And how much time we were giving? 1.5 minutes. You may say whatever you may say, but this survey shows us that a normal doctor gives 1.5 minutes. And in that 1.5 minutes, what are we doing? The nurse takes the blood pressure. We don't even know what she's taking. Nobody ever checks that whether she has been really taught the way she should be taking. First thing, she takes the weight. She makes the patient lie down for an examination. You may do an antenatal examination or a scan, which again will take about half a minute. And the next half a minute is on writing down a prescription, which also a nurse or a doctor, your junior doctor or an assistant will explain. Am I wrong or right?
Right.
Now, where are we exercising our knowledge here? We are mechanical. We are robots. We are not using the knowledge which we have here. We are not utilizing to make a change in that woman's life, and that woman's life change will actually address the future generations. So a normal time which is very required is, at least for the first visit, a good history taking. A good history taking itself will take you half an hour. And all the points should be written down. Second important thing, how many of us, we are all private practitioners, so the patient will come to us every month. WHO also has changed its definition from 4 antenatal visits to now at least 8. But in that 8 antenatal visits, what is it that we are really required to do? Which is important because that should be targeted and the patient needs to be approached in that way. Because what we have understood is that antenatal visits definitely have had an impact on the institutional deliveries. So today with those 4 antenatal visits, we have almost about 82% institutional deliveries. Now initially we thought that that institutional delivery will have an impact on the maternal mortality ratio and the neonatal ratio. Now with 82% institutional deliveries, we have attained a certain level as far as the neonatal and the maternal mortality is concerned. But what we are struggling right now, that we cannot bring it further down. And why? Because what I understand from this is that whatever we are doing has now become static. We need to understand the causes now further. So what is now contributing to the maternal mortality is not infections, It is not safe delivery. Most of the people are having access now to delivery in an institution, 82%. But the maternal mortality has not come down. So there are other contributing factors which really need to be looked into, and that cannot be looked into in this pregnancy only. And that is important for us to understand. So what are the interventions that can improve the number as far as LCH care is concerned? And I would like to say here now that we know it all. I'm sure that even with this lecture also you have understood what I'm really trying to say. But knowing is not enough because we must apply what we know. Are we really applying? Willing is not enough. I'm sure if I tell you how many of you will do it, everyone will go and raise their hands. But we must do it. But how many of us will actually go back and do it? That is important. So, and that is a message which I like all of you to carry home. So this pyramid of care, which has changed, it used to be the other way around. We used to think that late pregnancy is the period when we can make all the changes. Then we brought it down and we said, no, early pregnancy is what is really going to have an effect on the changes. But today we say, no, there is preconception care, which is very important because I cannot change how a pregnancy progresses if I have not looked after the preconception period. If I have not looked after the problems in the preconception period like diabetes, hypertension, obesity and so on, if I have not checked them, I can't make my changes there. And along with that, we have a penthouse and a basement of postnatal care. Then postnatal care is also equally important. Breastfeeding, only 27%, and in private practice, 4% people initiate breastfeeding on the table. Who is responsible for that? I would really like all of you to go back with these serious thoughts. And I would say now, yes, pregnancy is a window of opportunity, and these small opportunities of 10 minutes every month, we should not lose. Because these opportunities are actually a beginning of a great achievement. If you and I join hands and look after our patients the way they really deserve to be looked at. So what can we do? We can start with preconception. And preconception care, a lot of times people come and tell us that no, this is only for the developed countries and high income group. But if I tell you, middle income and poor countries, there are many countries which have done it, like Sri Lanka has done it, Philippines has done it, Bangladesh, our neighbor, has done it. And they have now started looking at the changes. Why can't we do it? It needs a mindset change here. And minds are very difficult to change. So what we are trying today with all of you is that you are going to be our ambassadors. So if I can change your mind on how you are looking at a pregnancy and a patient, I am sure that the whole drive will carry further. First trimester counseling, very, very important. Now, what are we really looking at first trimester? We write down a folic acid and we'll say, okay, at the most an 11 to 14 week scan and that's it. But there's so many other things because every time a patient comes to you every month, one extra knowledge is important. So when she comes for the first time, what is important? That the whole roadmap of the pregnancy should be explained to her. What time, what happens. Now, I'm sure you will say that there is a time for me to do it. And I would again tell you when there is a will, there is a way. And to assist us, we have a beautiful app called HealthE. All what you could probably do is that if you can't do it, then your staff can explain. We are training the staff. The HealthE associates, thanks to us, they understood our challenges and they said we train our staff. And our staff, the medical representatives, will go and train your staff. This medical rep can go and sit down in your clinic and train your receptionist, your nurse, into all the aspects. Because for you to sit down and explain to everyone may be a problem. Plus, on 9th of every month, we are now doing our programs in all the clinics who understand this concept. We are educating the women. We are educating families. Because when you educate the woman, like Jawaharlal Nehru said, that if you want to really awaken the woman of your country. Because when a woman awakens, a family awakens, a society awakens, and a nation moves forward. So if we really want to do it, then we have to awaken the woman, empower the women, and that's where the theme of health empowerment and respect for women has come. But how it has to be done? With quality and dignity by all of us. And that's important. So first trimester counseling, what screening to be done, when to come, the appointments, all that is there. In that scan which we say, everyone I'm sure is going to do an 11 to 14 week scan. But with that 11 to 14 week scan, if you look at the cervical length, if you look at the mean and arterial blood pressure, what will it take care of? Along with that, you will predict preterm delivery, you will predict PIH, and with the DIPSI universal this thing, you will predict the gestational diabetes. So you have already started thinking and sensitizing the pregnant lady and the family about the problems which she might face in this pregnancy, which are an indicator of her problems in future for herself and also for the baby. And that's again very, very important. So integrating all these strategies are important. And we really need to do them. And it doesn't take time. It is only protocols, and these protocols are going to be given to you. And the patient also knows these protocols through the app. This app is free to all of you. And the patient can pay a small amount of 365 rupees or something and download it. And that app only doesn't tell the medical part. It will tell you about exercises, yoga, music, which will go along with the yoga or the exercises you want to do. The recipes, supposing somebody is vomiting, what to eat. Supposing somebody wants to cook something and so on. So this app is a very comprehensive app. And for the part which is there with you, supposing if you have written 2 progesterones, 2 calciums, or 2 ions, it will ask you, or interacting drugs, that do you really want to do this, are interacting, and so on. So if we just take a little break and reorganize the way we are practicing, I am sure we will go ahead a lot much larger targets. So DIPSI, universal DIPSI, again very, very important. Normally, when do we do DIPSI? Anyone?
First visit and 24 weeks and 32 weeks. First visit 24.
Yeah, initially people used to say about 20 or 24 weeks. We don't do that now. And in PCOS, as soon as you can. Because those are the ones who are really destined to have diabetes. Plus, neonatal screening. How many of us do? We don't do. So we need to sensitize the patient about neonatal screening. What all has to be done. So what is really required is that we should learn from the past and research the present to predict the future. And what we require today is a very integrated